What if everything you knew about Spider-Man, Brand New Day was only half the story? Spider-Man, Brand New Day is a 2026 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character Spider-Man. Produced by Columbia Pictures, Marvel Studios, and Pascal Pictures, and distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing, it is the 38th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, and the 4th film in the MCU Spider-Man film series following Spider-Man No Way Home, 2021. The film was directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, and stars Tom Holland as Peter Parker/Spider-Man alongside Zendaya, Sadie Sink, Jacob Batalon, John Bernthal, Florence Pugh, Trammell Tillman, Marissa Tomei, and Mark Ruffalo. Sony was developing a 4th MCU Spider-Man film by August 2019, and producer Amy Pascal revealed in November 2021 that it was intended to be the first in a new trilogy starring Holland. Work on the story began that December, with Holland more involved in development than he was for the previous films. McKenna and Summers returned as writers by February 2023. Cretton was hired to direct by October 2024, and the title, derived from the 2008 comic book storyline Brand New Day that reset Spider-Man's status quo, was announced in March 2025. Spider-Man, Brand New Day premiered at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, Los Angeles, on July 27, 2026, and was released in the United States on July 31st as part of Phase 6 of the MCU. It received largely positive reviews from critics, with praise for Holland's performance, the action sequences, and the more mature, character-driven story compared to the previous MCU Spider-Man films. The film has grossed $2.078 billion worldwide and set multiple box office records. After Dr. Stephen Strange's magic spell makes the world forget that Peter Parker exists, he chooses to protect his girlfriend Michelle MJ Jones Watson and best friend Ned Leeds by not reintroducing himself to them. Over the next 4 years, Parker anonymously protects New York City as its celebrated hero Spider-Man. Parker stops Frank Castle from causing collateral damage in pursuit of a tank that crashes into a Department of Damage Control, DODC, prison. The driver is possessed by a telepath who body hops from person to help Gargan escape, but is unable to enter Parker's mind. Yelena Belova informs Parker that multiple DODC facilities have been attacked by someone searching for VMAX. Ned and MJ move back to New York after graduating from MIT. Parker encounters them and sees MJ kiss her new boyfriend. Returning home in distress, he wakes up the next day with heightened senses and organic webs in his wrists. Parker takes MJ to Castle's hideout for protection, where she helps complete his inhibitor and a universal inhibitor. Jean attacks the Doc's headquarters with a possessed Banner, whose inhibitor is removed, causing him to become the Hulk. While Parker fights the Hulk, Jean possesses Castle to open a vault hiding DODC agents. Metzger experiments on Jean at a DODC facility on Roosevelt Island that Parker infiltrates. Jean deduces that VMAX is the weathered label on the air vent in her cell, the last thing Sarah saw, and mentally communicated to Jean before she died. Enraged, Jean creates a psionic field that extends beyond the facility, freezing everyone within it except for Parker, including MJ and Ned. Parker wakes up in a hospital with a remorseful Castle, who says Jean remotely kept him alive with her powers. Jean leaves the city, Metzger disappears, and the DODC comes under investigation. At May's grave, Parker vows to stop trying to do everything alone, later agreeing to let DeWolf handle a robbery while he recovers. Tom Holland as Peter Parker/Spider-Man, a former Avenger who received spider-like abilities after being bitten by a radioactive spider. Following Dr. Stephen Strange's spell at the end of the film Spider-Man No Way Home, 2021, the world has forgotten that Parker exists and he is now focused on anonymously protecting New York City from street-level crime. Zendaya as Michelle MJ Jones Watson, Parker's former classmate and ex-girlfriend who attended the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, with Ned Leeds, with whom she shares an apartment. MJ has a new love interest in the film, causing conflicting feelings for Parker. Zendaya worked with the writers to ensure MJ's quirks from the previous films were retained while still maturing the character. after she felt an initial draft had made her too normal. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, a young mutant with psionic abilities such as telekinesis, telepathy, and possession. She is searching for her sister Sarah, who was taken by the Department of Damage Control, DODC, bringing her into conflict with Spider-Man. Jean's origin story is depicted differently from the comics and other live-action films, showing her learning about her powers alongside Sarah instead of them manifesting in a car crash. If this gave you chills, hit like and subscribe. A new documentary drops every week.